Sublime magnificence. Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent big ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host and runnermate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Chill Bill Smith.
What's going on, Omari? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Good to have you on here again. Good to have you on here again. And yes, as I stated before, this show is called This Guy Hasn't Seen. Well, that's pretty much the premise of the show. We trade movies back and forth. One guy's seen it, other guy has it, generally the flow of it. And this week, I have decided it was my turn to present a movie to Bill, and I went to a well that I occasionally go to because I've seen less films than Bill over here. But I went to a film that when I looked it up, listed it as a classic of sorts. Paid in full. Or, black films, if you will. A classic black film.
Paid in Full from 2002, rated R. A young man from Harlem, forced to cope with the 1980s drug scene, builds an illegal empire, only to have a crisis of conscience.
Yes.
It is directed by Charles Stone III. It is written by the real-life Ace Boogie, Azzy Faison Jr., also Austin Phillips and Matthew Serlnick. And it stars Mekhi Phifer, Wood Harris, and Shy McBride.
As well as Cameron, right?
He's not listed on the
gotcha.
stars up at the top.
Cool.
That's what I usually do.
So why Paid in Full? I'll tell you why Paid in Full. So I kind of hinted at it a second ago with the whole I don't have a lot of movies that I've seen that you haven't. But this is one of the things where I remembered seeing it when I was younger. I remember Mekhi Phifer had a monologue or two in this movie that I thought was done pretty well. Wood Harris, in a lot of movies, in a decent amount of movies, you'd be surprised if you don't recognize the name and face. But he's definitely a good actor in his own right, a great actor in his own right. And so I was like, you know what? This is a good chance to have some good, even if it's not a certifiable classic, even if it's not like a 10 out of 10 type movie, I still feel like compared to something like The Players Club or insert other movie that I've referenced from this whole these are black movies things, this has a better film, or at least that's what I was feeling. We'll get into how we feel now, but that's what I was feeling like. This has a better chance of just actually being a solid, that was a good watch, as opposed to The Players Club, I love this shit, Bernie Mac and but yeah, so that's why. Had you heard of this movie, Bill? And if not, what were you expecting?
I had not really heard of this movie. Looking at the poster, I know I've seen this poster at some point in my life. But I have never really directly heard anything from it.
Okay.
Or would have known the title at all, because I struggled to remember this title. I don't know why, but it was just impossible for it to lock in my brain this week.
Fair enough. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and get right into the initial reactions to it. So the movie starts up. What you thinking? What are some of your initial feelings, reactions? How you feeling?
So they're hanging out, they're playing poker, and then things start to break up, and the incident at the door happens, and then we immediately cut to the hospital. And that's the first note I have, is that it's hard for me to tell who of those three guys was just at that door and is now in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my initial thing, is I was just trying to replay the events and try and
Yeah, which one was this?
Yeah, all right, they were playing poker. Dude left because he said he's going to be a dad. So he's probably headed to the hospital. Like, is this two separate? Is this that guy and maybe he got in like a car accident on the way to the hospital?
See, that's also one of the things I was wondering, because it's like, yeah, she said she's getting the baby and then he goes home, as opposed to the hospital.
Like, for a minute I was like, all right, maybe that's separate. Maybe that was separate guys and I didn't notice. Like, that's a different thing. That dude, we're gonna get back to that dude getting jumped in his apartment. And then I typed down what I thought he said in his gargled voice, which is, I did it. I murdered.
Oh, no, it was, who did this to you? And he was like, it was, I did this. Pretty much a whole, my life choices led me to here type shit.
Yeah. I got the I did it.
But yeah, that took a turn real quick, because they're just chilling, playing fucking paper bag basketball, betting money and shit. You know, Mekhi Phifer like, you ain't got, he ain't on, but I got money right here. Let me check this out. Oh, give me my 5K, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, yeah, party, you get my boys, and popping champagne, go be a dad. Because Cameron, lots of these black movies have a fucking crazy Cameron nigga. We'll get into his character later. But he's that guy in the group. And he's just like popping champagne. It's like, okay, jovial. Everything's jovial. Hospital. Wait, what? This is 1986. That was a good year. Apparently not for everybody. But yeah. But it's your classic in medias res or whatever. We flash back to a year before, which is crazy that this whole movie takes place in like a year.
Yeah, I still don't know that we're in a flashback for a long time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't know who the fuck was at that hospital.
Well,
so I have notes here, like, first I have a note that I need to take better care of my shoes. When I is like giving his,
I love his relationship with the kid, but he's like, oh, you gotta get the toothbrush.
You know, the toothbrush is never gonna be white.
Man. It's like an
a lot of the adult men call other men baby.
Yeah, dude, fucking Pfeiffer sounds like a damn anime character ending like his sentences with a verbal tick of either man or B. He just has to end it in like one of those. You know, it's what I'm saying, man. You know, you can't just be doing that. B, you know, me, it's like so-and-so, man. Man. Like you're trying extra hard to be hood. Yeah, you got me, B?
But then my note after that was, okay, so it was the third guy that got beat up. Because we have now seen Mekhi Phifer and what's his
Wood
face?
Harris.
Wood Harris. So I was like, okay, it was the third. I'm still not realizing it's a flashback.
Yeah. Might have missed the words on the screen that said 1 year before.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that is entirely fair. But yes, the shoe scene.
Full disclosure, I do have a puppy here, and while I was watching this, there were a couple of times that I had that I wasn't
deal with the puppy.
Watching the screen.
That's perfectly fine.
But yeah,
but
that must have been a very 10 seconds that I missed there.
Yeah, but. You were talking about him with the kid and the shoes. I was like, I like Mitch and the kid's relationship. It's his little brother, Sonny. I liked him and the kid's like relationship and them establishing early on. Because at first I wasn't sure if that was his son or something. I mean, his name's literally Sonny. So he's just over here. "Man, you gotta get the shoes. You gotta do that." And I remember as a kid being told that same kind of shit about the toothpaste and all that stuff and the toothbrush, and I'm like, that's too much work. I just want to wear my shoe. I'm gonna just walk right down the street with another one. But I've never been a shoe head. I get it if you're a sneakerhead and stuff. I ain't got the money to be a sneakerhead. I just need shoes to take me from point A to point B.
Yeah, I've never been a sneaker head, but I do enjoy to have a few options.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like
I would as well.
Options to last a little longer.
Oh, that's entirely fair.
And be a little, get and like there's so many cool shoes that are white that have a lot of white on them, and they don't stay white forever.
Yeah, I stopped buying white shoes. But
same with like my leather shoes. Like I never fucking wipe down my boots or anything like that. I should just take better care of my shoes. That's
fair. Same. We all should. We all should. But yeah, we're sitting there. We meet Calvin early in the movie. He's an annoying drug dealer dude that is dating Wood Harris or Ace. He's dating Ace's sister. But he's clearly a drug dealer to the point that everyone on the block knows just by looking at him. All the adults are like, this dude is stupid as fuck. He's just flaunting all his money and jewelry. Don't know the value of $1 whatsoever. Just loud as hell. And it's clear that that's what's going to happen, is that he's going to get caught or something. But he also will probably be the one to influence Ace to get into drugs, because he's clearly trying to. I thought it was funny with the radio announcer throughout the movie going, "Shout out to my man Mitch. I see you, baby." It's like throughout the movie, there's different things where the radio DJs or whatever are shouting out Mitch. Everybody loves Mitch. Mitch is also a drug dealer, but he's less loud about it than Calvin. I think he's still driving too expensive of a car, but he's not flaunting his money. When people are asking him, we're talking to him about money, he's like, "I'm broke," or "I ain't got a lot." Like Ice, the uncle, money making Mitch. Don't give money to me. Apparently he's a heroin addict who apparently got hooked on heroin because of Mitch.
And it seems pretty clear that his mother is also an addict, which is why, like, when Ice throws it in his face of like, "Why you never giving your mom like real living money?" And it's probably because mom's on an allowance, because
heroin.
Mackay knows that she'd spend it somewhere he doesn't want her spending it.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to save up stuff to try and help Sonny get out of all of this and stuff anyway, because he's he cares about his little brother, and he also wants Ice to stay away from his little brother.
Yeah, my next note was, "Oh damn, Mackay is dealing too."
Yeah.
But I'm excited at this point, not thinking about it being based on a true story or anything, just thinking about it being a movie. I'm getting excited because I'm thinking that Ace is going to, he's so steadfast right now in this moment that I'm thinking he is going to not get into this shit. My next note is Ace just ain't having this shit. And that was in response to his moment with the cocky brash boyfriend of his sister,
Calvin.
Calvin, where he's like, "Man, you should be doing this. I can hook you up. We can run this together." And he's just like,
he seems very against doing it. He's like, "I ain't about that life. I ain't about being as loud as you, dodging the cops and stuff." But he works at a laundromat with the older dude that's also in a lot of black movies and shit. He's everywhere. I'm pretty sure he was in a movie that we saw. Wasn't he the dude in the prison in that one movie that had the elaborate ass prison cell we watched recently? Some dude, I forget which movie it was, but they went to visit a guy in prison. It might have been the DMX one, where he went to visit a guy in jail. He like sitting there eating steak, talking to him. "You gonna come in my jail and talk to me?" So I'm pretty sure it's the same actor. Anyway, he's a supporting role in a lot of things. I just kind of want to shout out to him because I recognize him being in a lot of stuff. I just don't remember the man's name. But he was playing the old head at the, that owned the laundromat where Wood Harris worked. And, trying to be that voice of wisdom, like, you don't want to be like them kids on the block and stuff. Shy McBride. Oh, that's his name. Okay. So, yeah. But he's delivering the dry cleaning to people.
Right. And at this moment, I'm thinking the movie is going to be like the story of two best friends.
Mm-hmm.
One is going down the life of crime, and one is doing everything he can to stay out of that.
Makes
while
sense.
Still maintaining this friendship.
Yeah.
In two different worlds. And like the end would like I was already kind of thinking that this was going to be a movie like where we actually get that ending that Ace talks about at the basketball court of like, man, one day we're gonna have matching Benzes driving through here.
Yeah.
And Makai's like 2 decades from now or whatever. And like
you know what I think?
I'm gonna be 2 days from now.
You know what I think is funny with that? All of what you're saying, the first part of the movie definitely gives you that idea. I can see where you would come to those, especially since if you didn't realize it was a flashback, the fact that they go so long before mentioning Rico or Cameron's character, if you're thinking, okay, I guess that's the third guy that got shot, this is just supporting that because he's not here.
At this point, I had kind of deleted that from my brain because, again, I still didn't know that this was a flashback. And so I was just kind of like, all right, that's just a setup to us that Makai's character's world is extremely dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a friend of his that they were hanging out with that night who's now just probably dead.
Yep.
Is kind of where my brain was. Like I literally don't know if I realized that was a flashback until it comes full circle. Like, oh shit, oh right, oh fuck, that was Rico in the beginning. Oh right. Like that was my 3/4 of the way through this movie moment.
Yeah. So they eventually he comes across some dude, named Lulu, who has a very nice apartment for where he's living. But delivers the crack rock or coke rock falls out of the dude's pants. He tries to take it back to Lulu, but Lulu hits him with the whole, you keep it, you sell it, see how it goes. I have shit tons. I don't care about nothing. I'm rich as fuck. You didn't. He's like, well, you're not a drug dealer, I wouldn't think. Why would I not be a drug dealer? Your friends, so it's like, but you don't. You dress you dress nice. She's like, your friends dress nice, but you don't dress like they do. But he shows him that you can be this is where Ace gets the idea that you can be a drug lord and still be, low about it.
Right.
Which he's clearly introverted, clearly wants the quiet life. But he also wants the comfy life because who doesn't like having, the ability to not want for anything?
Yeah, it's the access through Lulu, and it is seeing Mitch have the come up so strong, so fast that it becomes undeniable for him.
Exactly, and when Calvin's dumbass gets arrested, because of course he did. He now people need to buy coke on the streets. Someone knows that he knew Calvin, comes to him, and he happened to have that rock on him, and he just instantly made like 100 on the spot, just and take it. And then he's like, you know what, maybe this is easy. So he goes to fucking Lulu. Lulu's like, well, here's how you actually do it. This is a key. This is how you sell keys. Blah blah blah. Always funny that when they put this kind of instructional material in these movies and or songs, where it's just like, this is how you actually should break it down. This is a key. You taking notes at home, folks? But he gets into it and he starts taking off pretty instantly. But he still tries to stay quiet about it, and he helps the neighborhood out. He puts the money back into the community. He puts everybody on. Everyone's eating when Ace is eating, when Ace is in charge. Meanwhile, someone pisses off Mitch. Mitch and his boys run up and kill the dude. Mitch goes to jail, to which I wonder, how is this all in 1 year? Because he goes and he gets out of jail.
Yeah, one of the early trivia things that I read was that the writer, and again, real life Ace Boogie, according to himself, his biggest problem was that the producers, who I believe were Rockefeller.
Okay. I can see that.
Was with Dame Dash and Rockefeller Records, who compressed the 7-year script into a 12-month time span.
Yeah, because I mean, Mitch goes to and gets out of prison. This dude takes over the entire block and is on that shit where as quiet as he's keeping it, everyone still knows that he's the guy selling everything, but they never really do anything about it or pin him on him because he's helping everybody. It's cool. And obvious cops being obvious, walking up to him early in the movie. Hey, Jack, I know you got the stuff. You know, the thing to cut. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Oh, I heard you the guy I can get the break off a piece. You know, I'm just trying to get some stuff. Get on stepping. And he literally calls it right there. He's like, them people are either the dumbest motherfuckers in the world or the cops.
Yep.
And
later.
Yeah.
We get it confirmed.
I did think it was funny that I forget when the scene popped up, but of all the songs in this movie, like it starts with a song called Paid in Full, you know, thinking of a master plan, da 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 da, hip hop shit, got a whole bunch of hip hop shit, and then just randomly, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Hold on. Which I understand it's apparently a song about a guy killing another guy and a guy seeing it or some shit, according to Eminem. But that is like the least hip hop song, or you know what I mean. I would not have expected that song to be in this movie.
Yep. Phil
Collins is not what I think of the movie about like Harlem in the 80s.
Right. And yeah, and it's not even really the 80s. Like part of the complaint is that they kind of pushed it to more of an early 90s thing, and that was one of the things that Ace was upset about, is that like a good chunk of this story is supposed to be the 80s, and then you grabbed an 80s song and it didn't feel like a good fit.
No, but Mitch in jail gets attacked by a dude at random, and here comes Rico just out of the blue to help him out. Yeah, my name's Rico. I got you. Anything you want? Do. Like I said, there's always a crazy Rico dude. In every gang both needs and doesn't need a Rico. Like, I get it. Especially if you're the introverted, I gotta stay quiet. Nah, I'm cool and stuff. Someone's gotta make sure people don't walk all over you. And Rico's good for that. What Rico's not good for is staying quiet. Cause when he gets out first, starts riding down the street on motorcycles and shit. Hey, yo, I'm Rico. I'm Mitch's boy. When he gets out of jail, we gonna do shit, man. Then we gonna be running this shit, B. We gonna make some paper, G. You know, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, cool, man, I guess. Yeah, when Mitch gets out, yeah, we'll talk then. Yeah, whatever, B. And he goes away. And then Mitch eventually comes out, vouches for him. But Harris is like, all right, I guess this is what's happening. Mitch is like, I'm ready to. Mitch didn't want to do coke. He was doing like weed heroin. Which I'm like, if you're doing heroin, you might as well sell coke. And you shouldn't sell anything. Disclaimers and all of that. Don't sell drugs, kids. But if you're gonna sell heroin, you might as well sell coke. Both are very terrible for people. There's no moral high ground difference between the two. The bottom line is they're both, you know what I mean. They're both terrible. But he was like, I'm out of jail. I need money. I'm trying to get Sonny and all of us out the hood. Fuck it. I'll sell coke. We boys. I hear you running shit. Let's do this. You're better than Calvin is anyway, because Calvin was loud and stupid. But eventually Lulu dies.
Zero explanation there.
Drug shit
happens in this.
Drug shit. And what's his name goes directly to Lulu's connect. So now he really got a big source of like being able to do shit. And then comes
a shit ton of diamonds.
There's a shit ton of diamonds, because that's how that's the other way Lulu kept things off his tracks, I guess. He, instead of holding on to cash, he turned that shit into diamonds and like something else. Like he was like, I'm not gonna have shit tons of cash in my apartment. I'm gonna have some diamonds in a bag, and I'm gonna have something else. And they're like, diamonds, and even the people at the connect like, diamonds in real estate or some shit. Lulu always with his invest in keeping his money clean type shit. Anyway, you think you can do this? Yeah, man. He cracked me up. Like, I say he cracks me up, but I like Wood Harris's like demeanor with a lot of things, because he's going for this guy that's trying to be cool, but clearly uncomfortable with social interaction,
kind of like a nerd in the gangster scene.
Like he doesn't want to be doing this, but he also knows that he's got to be a certain level or certain demeanor to do it. So you see him like,
he's like incredibly smart about it. Like with this interaction, he knows, like he's already deduced, like, all right, so my connect is dead. I've lost my connect. If I want to maintain a connect, all right, somebody was supplying him. I'm pretty sure it was these other dudes that are of his same ethnicity. That's like a scary place, like always known as a like you don't go there place.
This is not for eating home.
All right, I'll go there with all the money that I was about to pay Lulu, plus like some of these diamonds, and then just give it to him, and then that'll be like my peace offering in order to start. Like he's doing this all incredibly. He's
very smart about his approach to this business, and stuff. But we start seeing where it's starting to come apart a bit more, because Rico is like doing sex tapes, playing them at the skating rink, popping bottles and shit, literally, like, and he comes to us like, hey man, that's not how we do things. We stay low. We stay low, man. You need a soldier. I've been on his shoulders. You can't do this. Is like, oh nah.
This man narrating his own sex tape is an insane moment. Insane.
Did you see when I get my leg up? And this part here, this is what it just cuts to the camera, and he's like looking dead at the camera. Insane. But Calvin shows up. Now he's out of jail and he wants in. But Ace, trying to be smart about it, he's like, and not be rude to some guy that clearly he has a connection with and he's known for a while. He's like, how about this? I get you some money, make sure you get paid off of it, because everybody gets paid off of this. But I'm going to need you to not do anything yourself for a minute. Which, perfectly reasonable.
He's smart about this.
Your ass just got out of jail for drugs.
You're going to run that block, but I'm going to give you some dudes to actually move the materials.
Yeah.
You just need to run the block for a little while and collect your paper.
Yeah, and then you know, the heat gets off you. you can get back out there. But the cops are going to be showing up at your fucking house just randomly because I imagine when you're on parole or under that kind of watch for drug dealing, they will come up with excuses to be like, because they want an easy tally on their statistics of arrest and putting them back in jail, and a motherfucker out from dealing with no ability to get a job or stuff probably gonna go back to dealing. So they're going to be looking at him to do that. Yep. So he's like, dude, just lay low for a minute. Calvin ain't like this. Clearly, he's like, well, I'll see you later. And there was some concert they had, weird, I think that was the money coming into the air tonight, where the money just started raining in slow motion, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? That was a weird moment. But eventually, also the whole time, Rico, he's cool about the business, he's partying with everybody else, but he wants to expand. He wants to go down to DC, hit it up there. Ace trying to keep it low, like, nah, Harlem, we're celebrities here. People like us here. We can keep a watch on things. We can stay quiet. Because I really want to keep this quiet. Let's just stay in Harlem. Nah, dog. I want to do this. But whatever. Eventually, though, Calvin decides, or eventually we get to the point to where they're chilling one day, eating after a day of making money. Dude gets the message from his wife. Oh shit, she having the baby. Gotta go. Goes home first, because I guess he's meeting her there to take her to the hospital. That's my only guess as to why he would go home in that situation. Now, he gets to the door and he hears music playing. And he stops before opening it, like he realizes something's weird. And I'm like, dude, grab a piece of something. You know what I mean? You think this is weird. You are a drug dealer with a safe full of a metric shit ton of money in your house. You want to not do this? But he goes in, gets attacked. Fucking turns out it's Calvin. Pissed off that he couldn't do nothing. Calvin fucking kills the mom and the sister. And then shoots him, and you know he's like, I'm getting out the game. I can't afford to be like this. You know, I was trying to keep it quiet and shit anyway. Rico's like, damn it, nigga, we trying to expand. We're losing money because you in here. You the main set. You know, if the head of the snake ain't alive, the snake is dead. You the main one with the connect. Yeah. He's like, I'll hook you up. And Rico leaves upset because he's not trying to talk about that right now. But he tells, like, Makai, he's like, I'll hook y'all up with the connect. Give me a moment to get things set. Okay? But turns out he gets a fucking speed up on the timer, on the deadline. Because Mitch gets home to find out Sonny's been kidnapped. Mm-hmm. And they want millions of dollars as a ransom or some shit. And he's got to sell coke now, fast. Get that money, pay to get Sonny back. Eventually, he's not getting it back fast enough. They send him Sonny's finger. Luckily, we don't see the finger. And then we get the monologue in the car where Mekhi Phifer, you know, he's got his whole sad moment and he's like, I'm B, some real murder shit, B. You know. Normally, somebody do something, that's my friends, my family. I'll be murdering every fucking body. It was look at me wrong. It's on sight type shit. So it's like really good moment from Mekhi Phifer in the car. And Wood Harris is like, nah, I'll get you to connect. Nah, Sonny's like my little brother too. Nah, I can't let anything happen to Sonny. And the next time we see Wood Harris come home, his wife is crying. He's like, what's up? He's like, did they find Sonny? She's like, no, they found Mitch. And, you know, he breaks down and turns out you can't trust Rico. Who could have known? The crazy motherfucker decided to do crazy shit. He met up with Mitch to sell those keys so they could save the brother, and he shot him in the fucking face when he realized he had all the keys on him.
He's like, "You got 11 keys on you right there." I was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. Which sucks because despite his ridiculousness, I kind of liked Rico, and I get why you have these characters because they're crazy, but it's kind of funny from being an outside watching a fictional tale. Like, classic Rico, that crazy. And he had also already killed Calvin. He fucking pulled up bike right next to him like, sup, motherfucker. That's right, he tried to console him for getting shot by saying, oh, I know what'll make you happy. I know what floats your boat. Calvin's necklace. I'd had already killed that motherfucker.
Bro, do you not get me? Do you not understand?
He had shot a nigga in the ass earlier in the movie for crossing the wrong.
With all the shit you do.
He's like, but this is why you need soldiers. I'm a soldier. You gotta let your soldiers fight for you. What's the point of having soldiers if you don't use them? like, yes and no. When the soldier doesn't understand how the army works, he needs to get a different fucking army. This army ain't the country you fighting for. Anyway, wasn't the country he was fighting for. He killed Mitch. Wood suspected it, but never outright accused him to his face. But he tells him like, hey, I think I'm gonna move on with this DC thing. I'm gonna hit up with the connect. I'm gonna hook you up with the connect. All the keys, all the stuff is you now. I am out of the game and I'm giving it to you. Rico's like, that's cool. He hooks him up with the connect. It wasn't. It was those obvious cops from earlier in the movie. Surprise, they're cops. They arrest Rico. Now, to Rico's credit, he's sitting there. He's like, oh, I'm about to snitch to get my sentence taken down. I ain't snitching on nobody from Harlem, though. I'll snitch on them cats from D.C. Nah, Harlem, so-and-so, so-and-so. Now, he has a diluted reason as to why he thinks he shouldn't snitch on anyone in Harlem. Because when I get out, I'm still going to be king.
Yeah, he didn't quite get the comeuppance that I would have loved.
The radio DJs regularly shouted out this man. He was so beloved in the community, and you shot him. You know what I mean? They're at a random skate ring with some DJs. Oh, shout out to Mitch. Mitch just came in the club. I see you, baby. But yeah, Rico gets arrested. Do wish he had better comeuppance or got shot himself. Sonny dies. Turns out Ice was the person who kidnapped him, and he had his buddy that was in one scene do the dirty work. Then we end the movie with Wood Harris or Ace just at the place at the beginning of the movie. He's like, the stage where everybody wants to be, and he sees some like younger kids flaunting their cash and stuff, and he just kind of looks at them like, nah, this was the life I used to have. These kids will learn some shit. And he looks in the distance and he sees like the ghost of Mekhi Phifer, like.
Well, yeah, not even just that. It's staged in of a bunch of kids flaunting their money and stuff. It's being filmed for like a music video or something.
Yeah,
like I guess like for his soon to be movie life. Yeah, have when he writes his own life story. But you know, with all of these based on true stories, when the star is the writer, it's hard to
fact check things.
Who knows? Yeah, like it's convenient that Ace Boogie is never a violent crime person throughout this entire film.
Oh no,
it
was all Rico,
the leader of an empire. Yeah, and it was all Rico, and it was always by his disapproval. He was always uncomfortable with it. Yeah, that's a little convenient. but yeah, it's always, you got to take it with a grain of salt whenever somebody writes their own life story.
Yeah, I agree. Because I was like, based on a true story? There it is. Based on. And yeah, when it's the guy himself writing it. And who knows what else he did get cut out or what other changes they made. Because he said they made some other changes where they're like, now this is now condensed to a year. We're probably cutting this part and that point out. Because I'm like, this dude had a friend go to jail, get out, got his wife pregnant and everything, and go to term when at the beginning they don't seem like they're that close yet.
I have seen confirmation on a few things that are real, which lead you to believe that probably many things are real. To tone it down, the scene where Calvin attacks Ace and Ace's family, that apartment actually had 6 people inside of it, and all 6 of them were shot in the head. 3 of them died, which is kind of a crazy statistic in itself. That there were 3 headshot wound survivors in that apartment that night, but also 3 different people who died. So I guess the messiness and almost unrealistic scenario of the real thing,
Yeah.
they just reduced it to mom and sister.
Yeah. Yeah, that is crazy. I've had a relative survive a headshot in his apartment.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that is paid in full. Is the other things you want to talk about the movie?
Let's check the notes here. Literally Scarface is directly in this movie.
Oh yes, that reminded me. I need to see that movie someday. I forgot I took a note about that as well. I need to see that movie someday.
I don't know if I'll ever pull the tag on it. You might want to just watch it. Let's see.
No, Cribs told me you ain't a real gangster if you don't have this movie on your head. Yeah. Granted, I'm not a gangster if you couldn't tell from the way I use certain terminologies.
I'm not a gangster.
I don't think I've dropped a convincing man or B this entire fucking video.
No, yeah, we covered a lot of the stuff.
But yes, Scarface was a note that I had skipped over. But yeah, I took that down as well.
All my other notes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So what did you think? Final thoughts? How did you feel about the movie?
It was okay. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've just seen this movie so many times at this point, whether it be white, black,
drugs are bad. Okay.
Chinese, Japanese, I've English. I've just seen this movie so many times. But it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I don't think anybody does a bad job in it. I mean, like, shout out to Cameron, who makes you really fucking hate that dude. I mean, I hated that dude. Makes Omari really like that dude.
As a character that I would not want to know personally.
Until he kills Mitch.
Yeah. Had he stayed loyal,
you were enjoying him.
Had he stayed loyal, he'd be probably one of my favorite characters in this movie.
I from the jump, he rubbed me the wrong way, but in like a good acting way. And like you said, what's his poor guy? I keep forgetting his name, but Wood Harris is in like everything. He's in so much stuff, and it's cool to see him get a starring piece. I probably would most attach him to Remember the Titans in my head. But I mean, he's been in everything. He's like the main general in Dread. That's a really good movie, and he does a really good job in that. So I really enjoyed the acting in it. It's just, as far as like building the drug empire and the eventual fall, I've seen that movie so many times, so that it's just
That
really
is true.
hard for it to just be anything other than like, okay,
Yeah, this
unless
is
it does something, and it's not doing anything groundbreaking or
that's fair.
it's pretty basic camera work. It's a basic, it's kind of a basic story. I think I would have enjoyed my movie more, just because I think I've seen that one less, although that's also, I'm sure, happened, of just like the two friends, one clean, one
Oh
dirty,
yeah.
growing up together kind of thing.
I
But yeah, other than that, I really appreciated the acting, but the story is just so used for me that it's hard to get anything past an okay.
That's
How about you?
that's entirely fair. I'm in a similar boat. I'll give it good because of the acting. I'm not going to fault it for the fact that I heard the story all the time, but I will also acknowledge the story that it's a very common story of I came from nothing, became a drug lord, now I'm dead and/or in jail. And life was good until it quickly wasn't, and it was probably because I befriended that one crazy motherfucker. It's always the case. It is a trope of a lot of films, and I've mentioned before, I'm a fan of a lot of tropical activities. That said, I can't be like, oh, this movie is fantastic, amazing, 10 out of 10. Nah, nothing like that. But I actually like your take on if they would have kept Ace or Wood Harris, if they would have kept him clean for the movie, and it's his juxtaposition against like somebody else. Probably, I don't even think the title "Paid in Full" really applies. They could have named it something else. It was a random title.
The title is terrible.
They could have named it something else. The title doesn't really apply. Name it something else. Do that other angle. It works. But as you mentioned, the acting was good. It was part of why I suggested it. And yeah, shout outs to his wife too, like the character or the girl that played his wife, Wood Harris's wife or girlfriend, because she's in a great amount of stuff as well. Regina Hall, yeah, she's in a lot of stuff as well.
She's great.
So yeah, well acted movie, not the best source material. Source material brings it down despite the good acting and otherwise choices. I like Sonny more than I like Lil Saint, but even that trope is always in here. Here's the cute little kid character. Isn't it adorable how close he is with the main cast? Sure hope nothing happens to him. But at least you feel bad for Sonny a bit more than you feel bad for Lil Saint. Or at least I do. Because you have more moments with the kid being there, and you can see the kid actually mattering outside of only being the plot device. Like, he clearly matters to Mitch's character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before dying.
I'd agree with that.
But yeah, so that is Paid in Full. It's a good movie. Yeah, give it a shot. You don't have to rush to. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, give it a shot. It's worth the watch, but I'm not going to be like, watch that shit now, damn it. Mm-hmm. But what are we watching next week? Good, sir.
Ooh, what are we watching next week? Well, Omari, the people have called for it, so we will answer. Omari has seen Star Wars episodes 1 through 8.
Yes.
Next week, we are going to watch Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. This guy hasn't seen.
You are nothing. Your parents are born from nothing. I don't believe it. I mean, look at the title of the movie. Anyway, you want to see other stuff from us, you can clearly look around the channel. We got plenty of videos, new week's episodes every week, every Tuesday of this show. We also have a show every Saturday called You Don't Watch Sports, hosted by this gentleman here, also often including myself, where we talk about sports topics of the weeks, 3 little quick topics for the casual sports fans, so you have a little nuggets of information to throw out. Sprinkle some information into your conversations that you hear the guys talking about at work. Like, yeah.
Sprinkle some information into your conversation. I like that.
Yeah. Sprinkle some information into your conversation. And yeah, so we do that every week, every Saturday. And it's always like up to date, keeping it topical on the whatever's going on the week. Also, you can find me elsewhere on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast. I got new episodes every week, every Wednesday. I do a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz. Let me tell you something, brother. You're back. You're back to being afraid of me? Are you scared of me? Super Jazz? I think you're a little scared of me. It's okay, Super Jazz.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
Yeah, you scared?
Get back to it.
You scared?
He's scared. He's scared of me. Ooh, Super Jazz, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, Super Jazz.
Yes, so there you go. They got a little beef going on. You know what I'm saying?
Coming for you. You, me, and Omari wrestling. Answer your Facebook messages.
Indeed. Yeah. But yeah, you want to find me elsewhere, Twitter and Twitch, Giotavi, Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Bill, I believe, has said what he's had to say for the day. So I will simply say, adiosness.